Hello, everybody, and welcome to Week 7, the Semifinals of the Rising Star Draft.
It's the Semifinals!
Woo! We are here with our top 4 players of the Rising Star Draft round robin. You'll see the bracket right here on screen. We're going to be playing through these first matches here. You can see the first one here, Derpologist 4 versus ABC 10-24-93. And we are here for their first match. And I mean, I'm excited that we are now out of the round robin stages. All these players have fought one another at some capacity in this draft.
I've certainly watched the videos as well, reviewed the footage from before. They should know their opponents more or less. Most Mons of their 12 of each player have been played. Not all though, as there are certainly a few sore thumbs sticking out. At least one, I think. I see you, the little pink feller. Zoom in.
Yeah.
Stop that.
That's right. That's right. Look at me. Now look at the Slurpuff. Now look back at me.
Come back to the Slurpuff. It's belly drummed and eating a berry. Come back to me. Come back to the field. It's empty. There's this crater right in front of where the Slurpuff was.
As it's eating the remains of all of your Pokemon after drain punching all of their life away.
Now back to me. Now back to the Slurpuff. You've won the match. Play rough missed.
Yeah. This Pokemon is trash. Alright. Yeah, Slurpuff, just belly drum, kill your entire team. It's got Unburden, so once you eat your yummy, yummy berry, you're going faster than everything on the field, and you kill everything in your path.
Like, I'm pretty sure that's all this thing really does. Like, I mean, if your ability is Unburden and you have belly drum, like, what else are we doing, man? That's a good strat.
Why are you doing anything different? Like, you're built for one purpose.
So is a bomb.
True, and it still does it. Like, just saying. As for other utility moves, it actually gains access to quite a few that, now that I'm looking through, is kind of interesting. It has, and keep in mind, of course, you just always do belly drum, but it does have access to Sticky Web, which I know in doubles isn't going to be nearly as cool, but it's got access to Wish for a little bit of support. It's got access to some pretty strong psychic moves, although its physical attack is much better. Or sorry, special moves, but its physical attack is much better. Can give you some screens. And then, of course, aromatherapy / heal bell if you're really worried about some status effects. But, I mean, we just clicked the big move, right?
That's the one that works.
Exactly. As for the rest of the Pokemon on ABC's team, I believe we've seen them all before. The more recent one that we saw is Luxray. We saw that come in and get some Intimidate drops on a Cloyster for their Skill Link versus Guardian. And aside from that, I think we're pretty well acquainted with the other Pokemon.
We know what all these fellers are going to come in and do with their spread moves or otherwise.
Yep, we've got Tailwind Sigilif, Steelix killing all of his friends, Ninetales clicking Heathwave. Yeah, exactly.
Boomburst, Billy over there.
Or actually Hyper Voice. Last week.
Right, Hyper Voice Henry, my bad.
Yeah, thank you. Hyper Voice Henry, deciding to go for the Hyper Voice over the Boomburst to not kill all of your friends. That's Steelix's job. Don't take my shtick. Only one Pokemon can kill the friends around here, and it's Steelix.
It's funny because I believe ABC has been running, telepathy on that Noivern.
Yep.
So that yes, so it doesn't actually get hit by anything like that. Not that it gets hit by Earthquake, anyways, because of it's a flying type. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yes.
But ABC has taken from the very first week. We've seen this sort of growth of killing all my friends, but it's actually the first seed into this bracket here, and is the person to beat and watch out for. Like, has taken absolutely 0 losses since the very first week that he played versus Diz, and is now running it all the way up to today's match versus Derbologist, who he last fought in week 3's battle. If you want to go check it out at the Drizzlefrog YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, all that fun stuff. That's right, hit that Chimeco.
It's for like a 2 Chimeco cries or something. Actually, wait, I don't even know what that sounds like.
Yeah, I have no idea. But what I do know what it sounds like is Derbologist team. I don't know how that segue makes sense, but we have Derbologist team, who we have seen all of his Pokemon in previous weeks. Most importantly, sitting right next to each other, as they deserve to be, Berserker, Delmies.
A dynamic duo of Steel-type slaughterers.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I actually don't know if we've seen that actual helping hand do 1 billion damage with Iron Head from Delmies, except for in week 1.
I believe it was only week 1 where it was a huge threat just one-shotting things that did not have any business one-shotting. But since then, like, I mean, they've done their job. They've come out and they've hit something really hard, but I don't think we've seen anything as extreme as in week 1.
Yeah, it's sort of come out and it's just done that one thing, but we've seen both Berserker and Delmies do their thing separately. Like, Delmies is just a pretty good answer with some really strong stab moves. And with the Steelworker ability, also goes for Iron Heads. Berserker's a great way to just put out some fake outs, Iron Heads of his own, even Helping Hand to help out his fellow Pokemon do a lot of damage. So we've seen both of them do their own thing, not have to be together.
Well, together, they can be quite dangerous.
They sure can. And Hippowdon and Sandaconda kind of similar thing where we have different sand procs where they can really work with each other as well as the other, steel types on the team, Overcoat on Mandibuzz, get out that sand stream, maybe have some smooth rock so it keeps going on, or Sandaconda might have the sand spit ability so that way when they get hit, just kidding, the sand is coming up again, you thought it was over, it's never over.
Just a constant stream of sand.
True, which will hit everything on ABC's team for a solid amount of chip outside of Steelix.
Who we've seen before be quite the tank of ABC's team, so hopefully Derbologist has something for that.
Yeah, I think I remember talking about this, that there was a few immunities that Derbologist had on his team versus ABC, which was Credilli and Heatmore. And with things like Noivern being able to click, Ninetales, being able to click Heatwave in the Sun, similar to what we saw Derbologist do versus Diz, is thanks for setting up the Sun, now my Heatmore is just going to click really powerful moves. And doesn't get hit by the heat waves on the opposing side thanks to the Flash Fire ability. So I wonder if that's the mentality for bringing the Heatmore here.
I hope so, because now that you're mentioning it, that Ninetales is a hell of a threat.
Yeah, I mean, it's hitting the the brothers for super effective.
It's hitting them, it's burning Hippowdon and Sandaconda possibly, Mandibuzz and Heatmore don't care, but what are they going to do about it?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. However, Burn is pretty brutal against this team. I'm pretty sure Heatmore, who can't be burned anyway, is the only Pokemon who isn't a physical attacker on this team. So this could be dangerous if some burns get off. And we've seen the Sigilif run Heat Wave. We've seen the Ninetales run Heat Wave. Like, it's not impossible for that status to go on.
I believe you've seen the Sigiliths run screens as well, so even with a Reflect up, like, it might be insurmountable how high ABC's defenses will become.
Yeah, we've seen it do Trick Room, we've seen it do Heat Wave, we've seen it do Tailwind, we've seen it set up screens, we've seen this thing really be the utility Pokemon on ABC's team for the majority of this tournament.
It's a real funny looking bastard and real versatile. Even he has Siglif.
I don't really know. It looks like it's coming out of an urn with like
a little pumpkin with unknown on top of it.
It's a Pokemon, that's for sure.
Some sort of sigil glyph.
Oh, a sigil and a glyph at once, are you saying?
Let's see.
Oh, actually, Ninetales can also have Flash Fire as an ability. I actually didn't realize that. There's an interesting mind game you can go there that instead of Drought, I'm going to bring Flash Fire because you might try to read my Drought Ninetales, especially seeing how good it was versus Diz. So, very interesting.
Real quick update. It seems as though Sigilith is based on or inspired by Nazca lines. So if any folks at home have played Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and those big drawings you can see on the ground from overhead, that kind of thing.
Wow.
Pretty cool. Fun drawings that you can only really see from space. So why did we draw them?
Thinking.
Never know. Well, this one actually just straight up looks like Sigilith.
Is this from Tears of the Kingdom or?
No, this is a real one.
Oh wow.
It's called the Hummingbird.
I wonder if maybe that's what it's inspired off of.
It has to be. That's what Bulbapedia says, at least.
Oh my god. Dude, that looks identical to Sigilith.
Right.
What the hell?
Actually, hold on. Even just rotate it sideways.
Yeah.
You got the top part, you got the wings, you got the little frilly things on the side, and you got the feet. Wow, hold on.
Yeah, the only thing it's missing is that like line down the center of its bottom. Otherwise, it's identical.
Well, apparently this is a hummingbird, so...
Now I'm turning my head sideways to see a hummingbird at a Sigilith. I can kind of see it.
A little bit. Just imagine this thing flapping its wings at 200 miles per hour. Sipping honey with that weird little...
That unknown mouth. Alright, we're heading into game 1 of the semi-finals. Derpologist 4 versus ABC. Let's get it!
Start off with Sandaconda and Mandibuzz. We got Slurpuff, Green Tide, Slurpuff.
Bye, Felicia. Alright.
Classic.
Okay, Clear Amulet on the Sandaconda prevents the Intimidate. Okay, immediate...
Terra Ground?
Yeah, immediate Terra Ground superpower onto the Sandaconda slot. Okay.
Oh, I see. That's the name because of the eject pack.
Okay.
Singer.
Sick.
There's
Oh,
the belly drum.
here we are. How are you going to stop this? Coil,
Like setting up
okay.
herself with the coil, it seems.
Okay, we're switching out here. Probably reading a Drain Punch from this. Oh, but it goes into the Sandaconda slot.
Not a lot of damage, but we'll see if U-turn instead. Interesting. I feel like if you pressed Hyper Voice, maybe that could have killed.
Yeah, very interesting that we didn't see that. Maybe I was afraid of like a Rock Slide from both of these. Luxray again. Can't get that Intimidate drop.
Clear Amulet.
Yeah, it's Clear Amulet. And now Rock Slide. Uh-oh. But now, I think Drain Punch probably kills the Sandaconda, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yep.
Unfortunately, as it goes down.
That's right. Now this Luxray, click the Volt Switch into 2 ground types. Okay. But I was probably trying to read something there. Maybe a switch to... Oh, but Manapuz is also Terra Ground. I'm not sure! But holy crap! That's a lot of damage. These switches, the Slurpuff isn't dying.
ABC.
No, not like this. Well, this thing came in, got some Intimidate drops, and died to Earthquake. And now Noivern's out, but another Drain Punch into the Powdon.
That's quite a bit. Derpologist is not focusing hard enough on taking care of this Slurpuff right now as Mandibuzz goes down.
Yep. So, and this is Life Orb Noivern. Very interesting. Rockslide's not doing anything to this. Oh, we are Intimidate.
Yeah, it's as chip as we can get. As here comes Berserker. Does not want to get hit by this Drain Punch, but here comes the second Blowjob Brother. as we fake out the Noivern
Oh.
for some reason.
Okay, I'm thinking. I thought maybe the switch to Delmies because you're afraid of getting drain punched. But doesn't your opponent just want to drain punch the Berserker?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm dead this turn.
Yeah.
Drain punch is the ghost type.
Okay, that's a huge switch then. Interesting, it wasn't drain punch into the steel type. Okay.
Luckily, Berserker has Protect right now. Is this going to protect against this Drain Punch? Yes, sir.
That's
By
huge. Now Delmies is probably going to be able to kill this Slurpuff.
Ooh, does that have any spread moves? Doesn't need it. It's just going to Iron Head the threat and get rid of that Cream Puff.
Yeah, and this Delmies can't get Hyper Voice, so this Noivern has to go for a hidden power.
Yeah. Luckily, it does pretty decent damage against this Delmies. Definitely killing the next turn. Here comes the Tail Chaser. Probably about to click Earthquake right now as the Noivern goes down. Not like it was going to get hit. Without the close combat, only does 45. Oh, goodness gracious. This Berserker is going to die. I am sorry, brother, as I salute your fall.
Rest in peace. And now we have Steelix and Sigilif and Ninetales, which maybe has Flash Fire, but Heatmore's still in the back, so you can't just click big fire moves.
Right, but... Ooh, this is really
Oh!
for ABC because if they just switched to Sigilif, they could have just kept clicking Earthquake and Heatmore would have just dropped easily.
So classic Weather Wars here. Ninetales comes out and clicks Drought, but because Ninetales is faster, Hippowdon Sandstream actually triggers second, which means we're not in the sun anymore. Okay, Terra Water on the Steelix. Doesn't want to get Heat Waved, maybe?
Solar Beam in the sand, forgot what weather it was.
Yep, that's right. And that's the power of the Sandstream, and the Ninetales dead! Okay!
Fuck out of here!
And that Protect was so good!
Interesting.
Okay, I don't know if this
In the sand,
one.
2-2, as the iPhone version 69 comes out and sets up a light screen.
Okay, Heatmore thinks, okay, that Terra Water and the light screen, but
the double rock slide is good enough! Oh no, ABC is up against the wall right now, against two huge threats right now.
yeah, what does the Sigilif have to kill any Pokemon? Doesn't matter!
Whoa!
We got priority here. Heat Wave is not going to work with Flash Fire.
It's not going to do a lot of damage with Hippowdon anyways, as the Rock Slide misses, delaying the death. Just kidding, here's the Sandstorm. Wait, what?
Oh, it's got lefties.
Oh, it must have Wonder Guard as well.
I...
Or Magic Guard, Wonder Skin. It has one of those abilities that makes it so it's not hurt by secondary effect.
Yeah, Magic Guard. Makes it so it can only be damaged by direct attack, so no burns or anything like that. All right, and that's going to be a win for Derpologist. It's now 1-0. Let's get on into Game 2.
Let's.
All right. Game number 2. ABC versus Derpologist. We got that perspective switch.
Keep it fresh for you folks at home.
That's right.
Speed slow, sound muted. Good.
All right. Anything to think about going into Game 2? We saw ABC start off with a Slurpuff. It was able to make some, Belly Drum, Citrus Berry, get all that recovery in. And it just kind of stayed around. But there was really good switches from Derpologist and good protects to make it so this Slurpuff didn't completely dominate this game.
That's right. That's why strats like that don't always work in doubles, because there's definitely ways to play around it. I'm wondering if ABC will instead opt to bring in Slurpuff later and perhaps start or at least bring out earlier Ninetales, because as we know, that Heat Wave is a motherfucking threat. But we didn't really see it until the end of the game there. So
yeah.
In fact, Noivern we didn't really see much of either. So
yeah, it did a couple.
There's a lot of mons that resist some of these strong spread moves.
Yeah, it did some hidden powers. We actually didn't see a Hyper Voice come out from the Noivern. So maybe this thing is just more to just single target something. We also noticed it was Life Orb, not Throat Spray. So it's possible this thing isn't just running only sound-based moves. Maybe it's got a little bit more of a different utility purpose. But only one way to find out. let's get on into game number 2.
All right, let's see if I'm right. No, we're starting off with Slurpuff again and Luxray. Same setup as before.
And we got Sandaconda.
Sandaconda and the Berserker. I believe that's different.
Yeah, the Berserker is different, but the Sandaconda is the same as we saw Clear Amulet before. Protect on here, but it's still a fake out into the Luxray.
Fake out.
Which means Sandaconda.
Sandaconda's not going for Coil this time, instead opting to Iron Head, anticipating a Belly Drum turn 1. Honestly, smart and safe play from Derpologist, but unfortunately did not work out. As I said, here comes Ninetales, and the Belly Drum's setting up as Sandaconda hopefully is not clicking Coil this time, because if it hits Iron Head. Iron Head again, we are adamant over here as the Slurpuff goes down.
Yeah, oh, that was definitely a double Iron Head into there.
Gotta be sure. That would have been fucking detrimental if ABC swapped or went for the second protected to work.
Yeah, so now Slurpuff is gone. That threat is completely neutralized, and that Slurpuff was dictating a lot of the switches that happened in the first game. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what ABC's win condition is from here.
Speaking of great switch from Derpologist, swap it to Hippowdon to turn off the sun and also resist this heat wave from... no, never mind. It's going for the Reflect. That's really smart on that part.
Okay, Rockseye's going to do a lot, though.
That's still a lot, yeah. Though it did not one-shot the Ninetales.
Yeah, this...
Is going to opt to pivot out to Steelix, who will benefit from the Sandstream. ABC once again forgetting that the sun is not out and charging up a solar beam.
Yeah.
Which will end in vain as long as this Rock Slide hits.
Oh.
Kind of going for the Coil.
Okay, we got the Rock Slide. Oh, but imagine that missed.
It's so bad. Something would have died on Derp's side.
Yeah. And
so both raid bosses are down on ABC's side.
Yeah, let's want to count this Noivern as one. But Superpower, these things are tanky.
Superpower, but not on the rock type, is an interesting play from ABC. A lot of strange moves in terms of super effective attacks.
Yeah, I didn't actually think about that. That's right. Oh, but it's a good switch. High horsepower.
I remember that. Correct.
But this Rock Slide is just going to do a lot. Thanks to the Reflect, it's not going to die this time. Ooh.
Oh, Dragon Tail, very smart. Get that Sandaconda out of here. Stop setting up.
That was
here comes Heatmore.
That was probably why ABC superpowered into the Hippowdon, was because they were like, okay, well, it doesn't really matter the HP on this. I still would probably like to kill it over anything, but I'm not sure. Maybe that was the mentality there.
Possibly. That makes sense. Chip is chip. You go for the Sucker Punch and take care of that Noivern. Get out of here.
Yep. And now...
0 damage.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Ooh.
Oh, Heatmore goes down, yes.
Hey, if my partner's dead, I can't kill my partners, right?
That's true. Unfortunately, it looks like the Steelix is running Life Orb. I don't remember if it ran it before, but eventually it's going to go down. Here comes the Heat Wave to deal some chip on both Mons. Burns Zip out on. That's really bad for Derpologist.
Yep, Rock Slide.
Still hitting the Reflect.
Yeah, and this...
Double Rock Slide.
And he flinches? Nice.
Yeah, okay, good. Otherwise, Sandaconda is dead as fuck with this next Earthquake coming up.
Okay, Reflect is now gone, so these Rock Slides are going to start doing some good damage. But there goes Hippowdon to that Heat Wave.
Oh, we missed the Steelix as we kill the Sigilith, but here comes the Earthquake. Unbothered in his lane. No friends to kill. But here comes Oh, no!
Yo!
Get me out of here!
How long is this Luxray for those world?
Because Mandibuzz and Berserker. Derpologist opting to keep Delmies in the back not to get intimidated by the Luxray. Going for the fake out on the Luxray. And setting up a Tailwind for his team.
Okay. Now Aqua Tail to the Mandibuzz slot. I don't mind that.
Decent damage, not gonna lie. Derpologist did tear ground last time, so perhaps ABC was going for a hard read there. Although I think Derpologist teared his Sandaconda earlier in the match.
Yep, this HP into Luxray. Yeah, definitely HP ground. Fire Fang into this. Now, where's this going? Aqua Tail. This is actually doing good damage into Mandibuzz.
Not bad. Sandstorm's gone though, so going for the Snarl just to make sure. Although both Mons, I believe, are physical attackers. Here comes the Earthquake. Wait, hold on. Delmies has Earthquake? Oh, shit! As he takes out both Mons on the opposing side.
What? Delmies learns Earthquake?
Derpologist wins game 2, 2-0.
Yeah, that's just a 2-0 right there. I think this was a good adaptation of being able to take out, like you said, sort of the raid boss threats that were there of this Slurpuff, Noivern, Ninetales, and then from then on, Steelix is a good Pokemon, but it can't take two Pokemon coming at it at once like that.
Especially when it Terra waters and loses some of its common resistances as a Steel Rock type. But man, you said ABC was top seed, right? Derpologist really showed his teeth in this match and showed that he's no slouch and takes out ABC from the semifinals.
Yeah, this is a bit of a revenge because ABC did take down Derpologist in week 3 when they played. And now Derpologist has brought it back, made it all the way to playoffs, taking that 4th seed, and is now able to come back and beat the 1st seed. So Derpologist is going to be your first finalist for the Rising Star Draft.
Unfortunately, folks, you're going to have to wait till next week to see that, but trust me, it'll be a very exciting match. But first, that's only half of what the finals are going to be, as we have another battle to get ahead of and see who Derpologist will be facing off against in the finals of the Rising Star Draft. Now, who are those two people competing for that seat across from Mr. Derpologist?
So that is going to be our 2nd seed, Diwu, who also ended 4-1 from the round robin stage, going up against Diz or Destroyer, who took the number 3 seed after beating Derpologist last week to secure that spot for him. And now these two, between Diz and Diwu, like I said, just in terms of record alone, Diwu ended 4-1, Diz ended 3-2. So that's what allowed them to get their seeding the way that they did. And between these two actually fought in week 5. So if you want to go check that match out, you can. It was a 2-0. 2-0 in Diwu's favor.
It's a hell of a comeback, especially considering Diwu being a veteran of the previous first Drizzle draft. And I'm sorry to keep mentioning it, Diwu, but bottom 2 of that one. And in this draft 2, like top 2, hell of a comeback.
That's right.
Love to see it.
And especially if he wins this set here, then he's going to be top 2 for sure. For
sure.
And will be the favorite going into that finals match, as he also beat Derpologist. So now on the other side, we have Diz, who started off the season very strong, sort of had a little bit of a sketchy middle end, but then we saw in his final match versus Derpologist, sort of went away from the let's go all in on the Torkoal strategy and have a little bit more into my other support Pokemon, such as Arbolova being able to Terra Normal Hyper Voice, Copperajah being Terra Rock Rock Slide. And we're also seeing Grapploct make a return with that Octolock. We got the Torkoal Lilligant, the classic combo, and oh god, it's back.
Aromatisse.
Ugh.
Would you like some Moonblast with that?
Ugh.
Come on, man. It's cool.
God, I hate this Pokemon. It's so ugly. What
Slay,
the
bitch.
hell?
Let's fucking go.
Oh, God. You really thought you ate with that. All right.
She's feasting. Anyways, we're all very familiar with Diz's current setup right now. We have tons of threats. Not as Zach mentioned before, not just Torkoal, really diversifying threats all across the team, and also Grapploct and Aromatisse. But you know, we've seen them impress me in the past before, so we'll see as well if they can show up again. But we've done enough. We've done enough complimenting Diz's team. We gotta go back to Burgle's team because we have some mons here. We recognize every single one of those. You know, we got Serena, we got Mad Cargo the goat, Madcar goat. My bad, edit that in. We got Palisand, we got Tauros, and
every fucking time. It jump scares me.
Toad Scroll hitting us with the hey guys, hey, I was one of the 12 that got picked. What's up, man? I'm in the finals. That's crazy. I'm in the semifinals.
Semifinals.
Oh, I mean that's crazy. That's still crazy. That's top 4.
He's so surprised. He's paralyzed. He ain't moving.
Blood hasn't moved for 38 hours. Blood hasn't moved for 6 weeks. He's just sitting there waving. Where's your 3D model? Broke ass bitch.
Oh my god, go in. What else? Oh.
It has Spore, so
yeah.
We can't talk too much shit. Its ability kind of doesn't help Spore as much as it has a Mycelium Mite, which I had to read before this match. Makes it so if you use a status move, it will go last, but will ignore your opponent's ability, which sounds pretty good because I had originally skimmed over it and thought, oh, this thing can just Spore whatever the fuck it wants. You know, it sees a grass type, it clicks Spore. It sees a Pokemon that's immune to sleep, it clicks Spore. It sees, I don't fucking know, something with goggles, it clicks Spore. But no, it only will affect Mons whose abilities aren't affected by status. So, for instance, it can paralyze a Limber Pokemon. It can Spore an Insomnia Pokemon. What it can't do is Spore Arboliva or Lilligant. And, yeah, I don't know what this thing's gonna do then, because, just sitting there, he's waving.
He's just happy to be here.
I'm happy he's here too. I do like this Pokemon. It's very fun design.
Yeah. I love seeing this thing, or at least its pre-evolution running around in the overworld. Very funny Pokemon.
But he's flat. He's 2D. He ain't got no money. He ain't got no bitches.
Damn.
Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
I can't.
But what can prove us wrong is this battle. I want to see if Toad Scroll can actually do something. I'm not just negging it because I want to see it do good. I'm negging it because this thing... is this mid? Is this a bad mon? I'm probably talking on my ass right now. Okay, let's enough roasting these mushrooms on the stovetop with some spinach on the side. The spinach being Serena. Anyways, do you have anything else to say about this battle before we head on into it?
Just one or two things. Most importantly,
something nice about Toad Scroll.
Oh, I have nothing to say about Toad Scroll. But what I do have to say is, comparing this to when they last fought, both of them have actually switched out one Pokemon. This is the first appearance of Toad Scroll. This used to be Claydol's slot when they last played. Clicking not only the Reflect that he's so well known for, but also, I believe this thing clicked Rain Dance in order to counteract Torkoal's shenanigans. We saw Mad Cargo was Terra Fire to, be able to eat some of those more powerful attacks. However, I think with Arboliva, maybe also seeing that, you have that quad resistance to Eruption by default. But you might want to stay Rock type, as weird as it sounds, against an Arboliva, especially after we saw how nasty Hyper Voice was. But it can also learn Earth Power, so it's a bit of a
Put out for a Terra Ghost, that could be interesting, but hard to say what'll happen.
Yeah, and Diz's swap, we just saw Grapploct pretty recently, and Grapploct is taking the spot of Executor, who we saw get absolutely destroyed by Serena, if you remember. Both Lilligant and Arboliva and Executor all did not like that Serena clicking moves into it. But that's about all I have to say from the last week's match. I'm interested to see, once again, Daewoo won this last time. So this is revenge for Diz. If he can come back and beat the person that beat him to secure himself a spot in finals, we'll have to see. Let's get into game number 2, or both set number 2, game 1, Daewoo versus Diz. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Good luck, have fun for both players. players a little bit of confusion to find the game mode. That's just a side effect of how we're running our draft here, folks, is we're starting off with Final Fungus 14 with a free trial and Dendrophilia.
So... Oh, okay, hold on. I can talk later. Oh, no! HJK into the protect. You hate to see it.
You were about to say something, and you paused right before a car crash happened. Oh, my God.
Oh, and it's gone!
Oh, no!
Oh, no!
This is swinging, whereas Diva is just kind of knocking off any items that he can with this fungi over here, and
yeah,
it's looking like a strong start from Diz. Here comes Camelot, the Palisand. We've seen him before.
That's right. Probably okay. Wish on this. We saw this Palisand do good work before. Shadow Ball into the Aromatese. I don't hate that. You got to get this down. Oh, okay. You hate this Aromatese.
Yeah.
But you better focus into this next turn, otherwise you're gonna get healed. Doesn't matter.
Storm. Oh no.
Oh, you're so dead to that, and you knock off the Arboleva. Wish is going to trigger here now. Aromatisse is back healthy.
It's a tough spot for Diwu right now. Down 4-6 right now.
Taurus, I assume this thing's sheer force, as we didn't see an Intimidate drop.
Trick Room's still up for one more turn as Aromatisse sets up another trick, or another wish, and tanks this Earth Power. I don't think... Oh, wow. Raging Bull did a lot of damage to that Lilligant right now.
Yeah, that's a really powerful move. Trick Room's now gone. Lilligant, get out of my game. But I don't think you're able to kill this before it can set up Trick Room again, and now you have a free switch into Torkoal.
I was talking a lot of shit, and I'm starting to feel pretty justified right now. As I'm not really sure what this Toadscroll is doing. It keeps clicking knockoff, and it's running out of targets to do that too.
Yeah, you can knock off this Torkoal, maybe get rid of, I don't know, a Charcoal or Fireplate, whatever it may be. But, yeah, Earth Power is pretty good into the Torkoal, but will it kill it is the question. Or will it swap?
Swap out to Old Sheldon.
Oh, yeah, you need
He's going to eat that eruption. His friend is not going to, however, as Taurus goes down.
Yep, and that's what you kind of have to be afraid of, is now the...
Oh, here comes the monkey!
That's right, helping hand into this is probably a power gem into Torkoal, but you're dead! You did Terra! Oh, no!
And the solo rock slide, oh, goodness gracious, and here comes the bench warmer.
He's here!
Clean it up! Let's go, Toadscroll!
Oh!
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow. That's giving shades of week 1, week 2 here. Diz is... I mean, it got the Trick Room off, got a free switch into Torkoal, and just clicked the good move.
Living up to his name, Diz Destroyer the third, I assume.
This is the third set he's destroying. I'll tell you that.
That's the truth.
So, I mean... Interested to see, maybe we're over-focusing on this Toadscroll a little bit. It might just be here for a little bit of, you know, versatility, or, sorry, utility. Just knocking off some of these annoying items you might be afraid of. Earth Power is pretty good into Torkoal, pretty good into Copperajah, but man...
Nothing else, and it wasn't really out soon enough to deal with those two.
And the Earth Power, maybe wasn't expecting an Earth Power, was expecting another Eruption that turn, but that Earth Power with no Terra is definitely enough to take out that Met Cargo. I'm not sure if the quad effectiveness matters or not. It might have still been dead even to a Terrafire, but...
I want to assume Met Cargo is pretty frail.
But even if you do Terrafire there, you've got a Rock Slide coming at you too, which is super effective. And that killed Simisear even without Life Orb Sheer Force combination. That was just Sheer Force Rock Slide, because the Life Orb was taken away. So that was just good damage for the Copperajah. And I mean, all these Pokemon were pretty healthy. This Aromatisse Wish put in so much work, 8 pretty much entire turns of Dewoo's knocking into this thing just for it to recover it all back.
Dewoo's definitely going to have to rethink who's being focused in Game 2 here.
Yep. Speaking of which, let's get into game number 2. And I would really like to see, just in terms of a different switch, like I kind of like the idea of trying to read that this Aromatisse is coming out first and picking some Pokemon that can hit into that slot pretty well. Because if you think this thing's going to come out and click Trick Room to allow Torkoal to come in, well, what was your answer to Torkoal in the first place? That should come out, but I think answering the Aromatisse, just focusing that slot so that way Trick Room can never come out in the first place, is the important part here.
Absolutely. We'll have to see how Burgle or Diwu adapts to this from the last match.
That's right. We got that swap of perspectives. Diz is now in the forefront, Burgle in the background. Let's hit into game number 2 of set number 2 of the semifinals. Diz versus Diwu.
Starting off with Aromatisse again. Good luck, have fun for both players. And Copperajah this time.
Okay. Serena and Taurus.
Okay, so something new. As that Iron Head does quite a bit to Aromatisse, but not enough to one-shot it.
Yeah, maybe scared of like a... I'm actually not sure what you're scared of here on this Serena to take damage from.
Probably scared of getting HJK protected again.
Oh. But even then you could just like click any other move into the Aromatisse, right? Like this thing needs to die.
That's true. But luckily Burgle smartly swapped out to a Toad Squirrel as one of its 2 targets is out. Copperajah will not want this Earth Power coming out. But Aromatisse is setting up the Trick Room.
And now Copperajah might just be able to kill this again. Yeah, Taurus is gone, and now...
Knock off instead of Earth Power. I'm not sure which one would have done more damage, to be frank, but getting rid of the Life Orb does help a little bit in terms of damage.
Uh-oh.
Check this time, though.
We better not see an HJK.
Knocks off the Aromatisse this time. I hope guessing on the HJ or guessing the Protect as they're doubling the Aromatisse.
Okay.
It's unfortunately not enough to take it down.
Really prioritizing this tempoing instead of killing the Aromatisse. I wonder if this Serena had anything to actually kill it. Instead of just pivoting out to the monkey here, because we're still in Trick Room. I'm still able to click Rock Slide. We saw last game. This just kills the monkey without Life Orb.
Right, it was a single target Rock Slide, so it would have done more damage, but even so, like, I don't think it's surviving, especially not a Terra Rock Slide. We're setting up another wish right now.
And it only hit the monkey!
The monkey!
Oh, when it just
on the Copperajah,
barely doesn't kill!
Jeez, so even if it didn't Terra, an Earth Power would not have one-shot this thing. It is beefy as hell.
Yeah, and now it gets another kill on the Serena thanks to the Iron Head. It's finally dead. I mean, we're still here. Eruption on this is still possible. Oh, okay, never mind. Trick Room is gone. Can we kill this Aromatisse before something bad happens?
Let's find out as we're going to Terra Ghost the Palossand to resist, or not resist, but not be super effective to the Leaf Storm. Smart play by Diwu. But he's really going to have to one-shot this Lilligant or else it's not going to matter. Shooting off the Shadow Ball and it's not enough damage.
What? No. Okay, but Leaf Storm doesn't kill it because we're minus attack, but Trick Room is out. Uh-oh. Now, if any of these Pokemon die, Torkoal can just come in. Shadow Ball into the Aromatisse, it just eats it. And what is this doing? A knockoff again. Really doesn't want any items on Diz's side here.
Smart play, but you're opting to lose out on a lot of damage as there goes Toad Squirrel. Psychic, not enough to kill Grapple.
Wow, yeah, it makes me really wonder. These things must be built pretty specially defensive in order to live a lot of these attacks. But we're down to the final 2 Pokemon on Diwu's side, and we still have 5 Pokemon on Diz, and we still got 2 more turns of Trick Room.
2 turns of Trick Room.
And it's not
really up against the ropes right now.
Which again, we already have a wish trigger, so kind of an interesting wish there. Missing the Heat Wave does suck. Graplock is down. Shadow Ball to the Aromatisse. Okay, but it's going to heal this turn. It would have probably been dead to the Heat Wave, huh?
Maybe. It does resist fire, doesn't it, as a fairy type?
Yeah, other way around.
Oh, my bad. As here comes... It didn't die to the Earth Power!
That's interesting.
Was it a high roll the first time?
That's an insanely different roll to live at 13%. Okay, but that's massive. I don't think Dazzling Gleam kills this.
It doesn't.
Okay, can we take this out? This could be the round. Power Gem.
Doesn't kill.
That's pretty massive.
Earth Power will the crit just to be sure.
Okay, Trick
Room
Room's
is down.
But Lilligant in the Sun's going to go first and get rid of the bigger threat in Camelot. And now I don't think this can kill the Aromatisse, and a Dazzling Gleam will kill it. So the question is, do they go for Wish or Dazzling Gleam?
No, Dazzling Gleam, as Old Sheldon is finally canceled. And that's 2-0 for Diz.
Yeah, 2-0 for Diz. This Aromatisse was here since turn 1. It just didn't leave. It just was not able to die. It got knocked off. It didn't matter. He was just there clicking Wish, Dazzling Gleam, Trick Room. You take out one of my Pokemon, Torkoal can come in. I'm constantly threatening this. And on the turns that it was trying to set up Trick Room, just was healthy enough to not die.
So it seems as though after these two battles, I was right about Toadskrull. And you gotta apologize to Aromatisse because she held it the fuck down.
That doesn't mean this Pokemon isn't ugly, alright? It can be useful, but ugly. Just like me for real.
Oh, jeez. But that wraps us up for this week.
Yeah, that's a 2-0 to Diz, which means both the 3rd and the 4th seed are the ones progressing to the finals of this bracket.
I would say unprecedented, but all throughout these weeks, these players were all pretty close to each other in terms of their score averages. But still, like, wow.
Yeah.
Real underdog story. As we're gonna put the graphic up real quick. So it is Derpologist versus Diz in the finals match. Is that correct?
That's right. Derpologist versus Diz, which is going to be a rematch of Week 6. We actually just saw this matchup, and Diz won.
Ooh.
It was the thing that's sick.
It
was a 2-0.
Ooh, how's Derpologist gonna adapt to this?
I'm not sure. But if you remember, this is the matchup that we saw the Terra Rock Copperajah and the Terra Normal Arboleva. So if there's one thing that Derpologist is really going to take experience from is, I know I can take care of this Torkoal. It was the secondary win conditions that messed me up. So now I can go into this final match ready to prepare for that. And the same thing on Diz's side is that Derpologist was able to check my Torkoal before. Is Torkoal the bring?
That's a good question. It'd be a hell of a play to have your star player not show up in the last match just to really, really mess up your opponent,
Yeah, because the one thing, and we actually saw a little bit of shades of it in Derpologist versus ABC this week, is my answer to Torkoal is sometimes if I'm slower, you can come out, but my Sandstream triggers. We're no longer in the sun. Hippowdon is the perfect answer to be able to win those weather wars in those situations. Even if not, you can just switch in a Hippowdon with maybe an Assault Vest and, okay, now you're not doing boosted damage in the sun because now the sand is up. So he's got the capability of switching the weather whenever he wants with this Hippowdon, which is probably big enough that Diz might need to consider not bringing this Torkoal.
I guess we'll see, because as we've seen before and in that match, Torkoal's not the only major threat on Diz's team. We got Arboleva and we got Copperajah, who will gladly be in some Sandstorm to get those extra defenses.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to say about that match between Diz and Derpologist, I think. And there's a lot of things to go back and look through, and I would anticipate both these players are going to be combing through those matches to find every bit of advantage they can get, because it is all on the line next week.
Drizzle Draft 2.
Week 8, yeah.
8?
Week 8.
Week 8.
The final week. Wow, I cannot wait. That is going to be an insanely fun match.
It's gonna be intense.
But man, I mean, both. We're talking about the finals week. I do want to say this week, there were a few plays I was a bit interested in to hear the thoughts behind them. I think there were a few volt switches from ABC that, forgetting maybe that the Terra existed, forgetting that we're in the Sandstorm, just maybe nerves, perhaps, of being in the final bracket.
Could be nerves, because I know Topologist made a similar play. I don't remember when it happened, but I do remember something similar happened on both sides.
And, this match that we just saw here between Diz and Diwu, I think this aromatise, I think, is a lot to talk about here. You gotta prioritize killing this troll doll, because if you don't, this thing's gonna set up Trick Room. And it doesn't have to be aromatise. You might be preparing for aromatise this whole time, and then JK is Executor. And that's the thing that's clicking Trick Room. So it's very scary that Diz has a lot of options to preparing for this Trick Room. And you don't know which one's gonna come up. And Fairy and Grass and Psychic are kind of different in what you need to bring for your checks.
It's a very strong team overall, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's not changed at all when it comes to next week.
Yeah, will it be any different from what both of them brought in week 6? It's possible they just bring the exact same teams, right? Because it was both very close matches. The first game that Diz and Derpologist played was won by just a Copperajah. Like, that was the only thing alive. And their second match was an almost dead Arboleva and an Aromatise, which, if you remember, they were both at basically 0% for the entire match. And this was from a reverse sweep. This was when Heatmore basically destroyed Diz's team the entire time, and then Destroyer fought back with that Aromatise and Arboleva at the very end. One of the craziest comebacks I've seen.
Honestly, yes.
So, the roller coaster of, oh my god, no way, oh my god, no way.
Just the stupid fucking plant making it with its arms and shouting, screaming.
Why is she screaming so loud? Turn down the music.
But that was the semifinals for this week, folks. Week 7. Thanks to all our players for the excellent matches. Whether you'll be showing up next week, or just whether you've been sticking around and providing us with any sort of content, any matches, any funny plays, we really appreciate everything you've done, and these videos would be nothing without you.
That's right. Thank you to all the players. Thank you to all our fellow admins. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting it so far. Excited to end off this draft on a positive note and for a really, really hype finals. So thank you once again, and can't wait to see you guys next week.
I'll be there.
I think I'll be there too.
I'd hope so. Man, I can't do this by myself.
Solo commentary? Hello?
That's a bad idea. I don't know half of what I'm talking about.
Oh, man.
Well, that's it. Any other closing thoughts, Zach?
Not really. Just good luck to both of our players in the finals next week.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be hype. But if that's going to do it, then to everyone watching at home, bye!
Bye!